Okay. Today we're going to continue the halacha of if there is mitzvah yishur v'oretz. Just want to say that it says by Bnei Yisroel, im lo neviim and bnei neviim. If they're not prophets, they're the sons of prophets. Maybe allow them to do things which is it goes well with halacha too. It's interesting enough to see that we brought three shittas Lagabe mitzvah yishur v'oretz. Those which is the Rambam, the two, the Shulchan Aruch, and many Rishonim. There is a mitzvah today too. And no matter how difficult it is, there's a mitzvah to live there. Then there is the shita we brought of the Balat Rabbeinu Chaim and the Balat Tosfos, that today there's no mitzvah because whatever reasons we mentioned already in the previous shurim, there's no mitzvah there. And then we brought the middle shita that's a mitzvah, but there is you have exemptions if there is if you're not going to have parnosa over there, or it's not going to be, you're not going to have a good livelihood, and it's one work for you to live there, then you like mitzad honest rachmana patra, you don't have to go. That's interesting. If you look, most of the Sfardim of the world today living in Eretz Yisroel, and most of the Ashkenazim, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, if they check this living out of Eretz Yisroel. It's interesting because the Rambam, the two, the Shulchan Aruch, the Paskin, that there is mitzvah yishur v'oretz. So I don't think that they checked the Shulchan Aruch before they went to live there, but most of them live there, like the Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch would want. And most of the Ashkenazi world living out of Eretz Yisroel, because the Rabbeinu Chaim and the Balat Tosfos, Paskin, there's no mitzvah yishur v'oretz. It's interesting. Again, I don't think people look in Shulchan Aruch before they make Aliyah or go away from Eretz Yisroel, but it's like it's working out for some people. Now I want to say a little bit deeper than that. There is a shittas, all of the shittas they have already. It didn't start today. Like today, you might say there's some more tzionim, more satmer, and more others that they nish. It's not. It's really those shittas are very old shittas. I'm going to tell you. L'mashal, the shitta of people they want to live there, and some of them moiser nefesh to live there, according to the point that many tzaddikim say it's wrong to do that. The mamash going to live in certain places that mamash sakanas nefashos could be, and some criticize them for it, but they go the mamash moiser nefesh for yishuv v'oretz. They know the price they're going to pay for it. Many of them get killed over there by terrorists, and the mamash going to the mamash sakona. So the emphasis, it's an old shitta. Where we see this in Pashas B'Shalach, it says by B'Shalach Baros Lo Nocham Lokim Derech Eretz Plishtim. Kikorov Bapashtus on the surface, too close to Mitzrayim, they're going to see a war, they're going to go back. You understand when Uziel says, when they got out of Mitzrayim, Hashem didn't want to send them Derech Eretz Plishtim. Why? Because it says 30 years earlier, Bnei Yosef, Bnei Ephraim, Bnei Yosef, 200,000 soldiers from Bnei Ephraim, they were multiplying a lot because of Yosef had a bracha that Einor not shoylet, but Memele was multiplying a lot more than even all clans will multiply a lot in Mitzrayim, but even more than everybody. So there are 200,000 Bnei Ephraim. We're talking about Bnei Ephraim, the grandkids and grandchildren. They all went out of Mitzrayim 30 years earlier. They made miscalculation in the gates. They thought that it came time, and they says the Plishtim, when they went to Eretz Plishtim, they killed them over there, and there were 200,000 bones laying outside till the Yecheskel came. Almost about 1,000 years later, and Hashem told them to revive those Atzomas Hayveshus. We read this after that He revived those Atzomas. The Gemara in Sanhedrin talks about it, that there were machlokes if it really took place such a thing, or just Moshel, and Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseres stood up and says, yes, it took place, and this is the tefillin I'm wearing is from my great grandfather, who he's from Bnei Ephraim that had Tchias HaMeisim over there. Anyway, upon him, we see already that some of them had love to Eretz Yisroel, a crazy love, that they went out of time. They didn't consult with Amram then. They just went to go to Eretz Yisrael, and they were killed on the way. And that's Hashem didn't want the Bnei Yisrael when they got out of them to see this, because they would get scared to see, so many people out. They weren't even buried. So they took them a different way. They shouldn't see this. Anyway, Kopanim is still again. It looks like the Bnei Yosef, whoever is in the Shoma from that shoresh, doesn't have to be even biologically, but the shoresh, Bnei Yosef, Bnei Ephraim, they have a special connection to Eretz Yisrael. We see about no Slovchad. They wanted Achuza Ba'oret. They demanded till Hashem gave this Parshas Nachalos, and they got Chelek Ba'oret. And one of the Yonim Chazal explained they had a great love to Eretz Yisrael. They didn't want to lose their Chelek. So in Take Yosef, he was the one called Ivri, Nar Ivri, because he had a special shaykhus, and that's why they took his atzomas out of Mitzrayim to bury him in Eretz Yisrael and Shechem. So There is some people that from that shoresh neshama from Yosef, and they have a great shaykhus, and they going out of their way. Again, I'm not saying right or wrong. There's to be a certain limit. How far you're going to go with this? Api halacha, you're not allowed to do certain things that's crazy, that you endanger yourself, like what happened to the Bnei Ephraim. They got out of Mitzrayim 30 years earlier. It was definitely not according to Ratzon Hashem or Ratzon Moshe Rabbeinu or Ratzon Amram. That time was the leader. So again, but I'm just explaining where it's coming from. Then we'll see the other way around. You're going to understand a lot of the Satmars today that they're not such a, look like, again, on the surface and the bottom, look like not such a Zionist. A lot of it's not like Rabbeinu Chaim with the Balatois. It's not time. It's Yishuv Oretz now. And a lot of times, if you see the letters of the Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, he talks about it also that you bring the balance in the Rabbeinu Chaim, the Balatois, the Tashbetz, they all hold. It's not the time yet. And if you going so much talking about Eretz Yisroel, what about other mitzvahs? There is keeping the mitzvahs in Eretz Yisroel. Again, so they bring a little bit balance to this. And where we see this approach in Torah, old approach, Parshas Matos says, "Umikne Rav Oyolivnei Reuven V'Vnei Gad Otzum Ma'od Vayiru Es Eretz Ya'azev V'Es Eretz Gilad V'Ina Moka Mikne," and they came to Moshe Rabbeinu and told him, "We want to stay here." Think about it. The Bnei Yisrael, that's such a tshuka to get out of Mitzrayim to go to Eretz HaKodesh. All of a sudden, coming to Shvatim, then join another half a Shevet Menashe. They say, we want to stay here. Who all want to go to Eretz Yisrael. Now we're davening to go to Eretz Yisrael. And they said, no, we're going to stay. They're cooling off this whole brand we have for Eretz Yisrael, for Eretz HaKodesh. Where it's coming from. So some of the, it's many explanations, but some of the Mefarshim bring, Umikne Rav. It's not the surface, meaning they have a lot of animals, but deep inside Mikne Ramin, they have a great connection with the Rav. Who's the Rav? Moshe Rabbeinu. They know Moshe Rabbeinu is not going to go to Eretz Yisrael. I'm going to explain in a minute, again, also, Al Pi Derech HaDrush, why he didn't go to Eretz Yisrael. And Mimele, they say, if Moshe Rabbeinu is staying here, we are staying here. We're going to see that Moshe Rabbeinu, the time was his time to come to Eretz Yisrael, the time of Mashiach, not before. They said, we're going to stay with him. Mikna Rav. If he's going to be buried by us over here, we're staying with him. He has a tikkun to be here. We have a tikkun to do over here. So this is the shit of today, the way it translates. Like I said, when Rebbe never went to Eretz Yisrael, and a lot of the Hasidim here doing their job, their tikkun over here, what they need to do over here, that the shit of Satmar, that's already an old shit from Mikne, Bnei Gad, Bnei Chatzi Shevet Menashe. There is avoid over here. I'm going to say in a minute which is the avoid over here. And then you have the people that they're in the middle, meaning like the Bach and many other poskim bring that there is a mitzvah to go there now, like the Ritvaz and many other Rishonim. However, since it's a big, the mitzvah is here, but oilers, you're not going to have parnos over there, so you delay you're making aliyah when you're going to be able to go there and live there comfortably with parnosa. Should be able to serve Hashem without any obstacles. So a lot of people that went there now, there's the Bnei Yisrael that went to Eretz Yisrael that time with Yeshua, they went there and it's working for some people. Some people didn't work, maybe they left. But and the emphasis is, it's all of the people. I know my father, Olav Shalom, he had such a great love to Eretz Yisrael, such a tshuka, and then he immigrated to America, he passed away over here, he was buried over here. So I couldn't believe it. I said, my father, this whole cholam was, he should go to Eretz Yisrael. He should be there, and he passed away over here, and he buried over here. That wasn't his whole life. He was his biggest shukah to go to Eretz Yisrael. Elamai, they're in the Neshamas. Right now, till coming of Mashiach, they belong here. Like the Neshamas of the people that went out of Mitzrayim were buried in the desert. They didn't make it to Eretz Yisrael. The Neshamas that died in Makas Choshech, in Mitzrayim, they're all going to make it eventually, but right now, they're not there like Moshe Rabbeinu himself. Now, why Moshe Rabbeinu didn't make it to Eretz Yisrael? The Pashtus, as we know, Hashem punished him for what? He didn't speak to the stone, to the rock, he hid it. That's on the surface. Deeper inside, the reason is a lot more than that, because that has many kashas. If we're going to just say what's on the surface, for that you're punishing the man that gave his life over for Klal Yisrael, for Hashem. For 40 years he worked without a check. Can you imagine? 40 years. I brought this mashal once. Imagine somebody is a manager at GM. and for 4 years was the best manager. He brought the company to the best level. They made a lot of money. And then the end of the 4 years before he retires, and he worked for free. And they told him, you know what? At the end of the day, we're going to give you a big retirement package for you because you're such a devoted manager for GM for 40 years. You worked for free and you did so much. We didn't pay anything. We'll give you a great package at the end. At the end, he came up with a patent, and the patent is that he could press on a button, the car would start. Today, every car could do that. It's no big deal. But in the olden days, to press on a button, the car start would be a big deal. You need a key to start the car. Anyway, and he came with that patent. They told him, you know what? You're losing all your package of retirement. You're fired. You get nothing for 4 years. You work for no pay. No. Why? Because we wanted you to make a patent. You should speak to the car and should start. And you put a button over there to press. That's such an embarrassing for our company. We are behind. You're fired. You get nothing. Imagine, and not more than that. Moshe Rabbeinu, for 40 years, he was devoted for Klal Yisrael, for Hashem. Moshe Eved Emon, Eved Hashem, Zichru Torah Moshe Avdid, Torah called on his name. He just made one mistake. Obviously, he didn't do the B'mezid to go against Ratzon Hashem. Whatever was there, that's a very complex sugya. What happened over there with that speaking the stone or hitting the stone? So Moshe Rabbeinu, when he hit the stone, Hashem says, you know what, Moshe, it's all over. You're not going to Eretz Yisrael. You're punished. For that, you're punishing Moshe Rabbeinu. You made a mistake, okay? For that, you're telling him that's it. That's his greatest love of Moshe Rabbeinu to go to Eretz Yisrael. He was waiting for it, trying to get it. No, you hit the stone. You didn't speak to him. You lost it all. Where's the fairness? Elamai, there's a lot deeper than that. I'll tell you the Kitzur. It says in the Zohar that Moshe Rabbeinu is a Gilgul of Noach. Because Noach had the first Gilgul, when Hashem sent him to save the world from the flood, he did his best according to his ability then. L'maisa, the world got flooded. The world got destroyed. He saved his family. He saved all the animals. It was continuation after the Mabul. So all this neshamas, it's a lot longer than I'm saying this Bekitzur. So all this neshamas that Hashem sent Noach to save them, to massacre them in this generation, they were lost. And Hashem was not happy with Noach. He told him, you didn't do your job. That's what it's called, tzaddik in the palace. You are warm in your own coat, but you did not spread your warmth to the world to save them. So what Hashem did is send all these neshamas that lost in the flood, eventually to Mitzrayim. They came again that's why they were tortured to have a tikkun. And Hashem sent Noach as Moshe Rabbeinu this time, said, this time you take them out. Don't just live yourself. And Moshe Rabbeinu this time changed 180 degrees, and he's mamash this time is not just living for himself. He's completely selfless. He's just living for Klal Yisrael. He's fighting for them. When Hashem wants to destroy them, says, no way, destroy me. If you destroy them, I'm just the best lawyer for Klal Yisrael, fighting for them. And he takes them out. This time, he takes all the neshamas out of Mitzrayim. They were taken all the neshamas from the flood. Now in Mitzrayim, he takes them out. Very good, beautiful. On the way, something goes wrong. They go Cheta Egel, Cheta Meraglim, and a lot of this neshamas, Hashem says, you're going to die in the desert. So when he comes to go to Eretz Yisroel, Hashem tells to Moshe Rabbeinu, they're not going in. You're the captain. If they're not going in, you're not going in. When they're going to come in, then the captain goes at the end, not at the beginning. That was the Pnimius Arei. And Take, when all the snow is going to come to Eretz Yisrael, the time of Mashiach, that's all Golus we have till now, such a long Golus. All these neshamas which just died in Mitzrayim, the neshamas that died in the desert, they're going to have a tikkun lost it lower, Mashiach, and that's why Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't come to Eretz Yisrael till coming of Mashiach. And anybody, the Gilgul of Moshe Rabbeinu, the Nitzvah Moshe Rabbeinu, they don't make it to Eretz Yisrael because they have a tikkun over here to bring all the neshamas to Eretz Yisrael. So everybody is his tikkun. Somebody lives in Eretz Yisrael is his tikkun. Somebody lives in chutz, does what he needs to do to make a tikkunim over here. But the ultimate tikkun, when we're all going to go to Eretz Yisrael, the kula alma, according to all the shittas, is going to be with coming of Mashiach.